1, 2, and we're off.
Play me, play me, play me. Play me like my tongue is grinding.
I'm the worst football manager ever, and welcome to the Worst FM podcast, the first ever episode of it. Welcome. I hope you're all right today. Whether this might be the first ever thing you've accessed of the worst football manager ever. If so, then hello. My name's Ben. You can call me Ben, or you can call me worst football manager ever, or you can call me worst FM, or you can call me anything within reason, I suppose. I've been making football manager content for probably 2-3 years, something like that. However, as I'm sure you're aware, if you are kind of vaguely on board with what I'm doing, you'll know I've roughly had a year off. A whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of reasons that I'm not going to go into now. But here I am coming back into the football manager content kind of business. Not that I'm getting any money from it, but if I call it business, then it sounds like a worthwhile spend of my time. And so this time round, I am making podcasts. Now, maybe you are watching this on YouTube. That's right. I'm making this available on YouTube so you can see me doing this podcast. But first and foremost, it is a podcast. So you're going to be able to access this on iTunes. Maybe you're listening right now through iTunes. Then well done. But you can listen to this through SoundCloud. If that's the case, well done to you as well. And it may be available in other podcast medias. Is that a thing? Is that how you say it? Podcast mediums. I feel like it warrants the story as to why I've done it. So this first episode will be a little bit different to the normal episodes, but I will share about what the normal episodes will be like a little bit later. But before we get into that, I feel like I need to, share the story of where this has come from, where I've come from, where I'm going. You know my name's in lights now, but I wasn't always this famous. Do you know what I mean? So let me tell you the story about where we've come from, where we're going to, and what this is therefore going to look like. I feel like we need some storytelling music behind this. So post-production Ben, enter some music now. Thanks very much. And let me tell you the story. You see, it begins a couple of years ago when I started making football manager content on video. I started creating YouTube videos of me playing football manager. I tend to enjoy managing low league clubs with the hope that I might get them better, but I never do. I never manage to, so I don't know why I have the dizzy heights of that. So I made videos for a couple of years worth of football managers. Loved it. And what I find is I've always loved football manager, always been a fan of it since I was younger. Had a bit of a break between sort of the end of uni and a few years where work kind of kicked in and all that kind of stuff. But I loved it so much, and the thing I loved about it is talking to people about your saves. Those of you who play Football Manager will know full well that yes, it's an immersive single-player game, but actually what makes it really special is being able to share your experiences with others. So that's why I made the YouTube videos. Loved it, recording what was on the screen, having some fun with it, all that kind of stuff, just like being like, yeah, great, this is brilliant fun. Anyway, I've been doing all of that on like this dodgy old falling apart laptop. The equipment has been shoddy to say the least, and those of you who have watched the videos will be like, well, yes, they were shoddy. It's about time you acknowledged that. Well, I did, and I have acknowledged it. They were shoddy because of the poor quality laptop that I've got. Anyway, as each year the football manager progressed, there was always this mild fear in me that I was like, oh crap, am I actually going to be able to record my screen? Is the computer going to be good enough for me to record the screen? And I then went through each year and I breathed a sigh of relief as I was then and still able to record, so I was able to upload, all this kind of thing. I then had a bit of a year break, and various things have gone on, and nothing major, nothing bad or anything like that, just life. And as it's gone on, I've been thinking to myself, I want to get back into this when I can. And now I've found myself able to get back into it. So what I did was I was like, right, let's set up all the stuff again. Let's start recording as Football Manager 19 came out. Alas, the laptop has not given up the ghost. I can still play the game, but I certainly cannot record my screen. That's the given. So I'm now in this limbo time of like, I can't record the screen, but I want to play Football Manager and I want to be able to share the experiences. And they're therefore the worst FM podcast idea has come about. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I don't know if it's going to be great or not. But one thing I'm realising is that I am listening to a lot of FM content recently. I'm listening to people's streams whilst doing other stuff. I'm listening to podcasts, FM podcasts in the car whilst I'm commuting. I'm listening to stuff whilst I'm walking the dog. At times when I can't watch it, I'm wanting to listen as well. So I suddenly thought, what would it be like to listen to someone playing a save on FM? Maybe it's a stupid idea. Maybe it won't work. Maybe I'm an idiot and I need to give up and just crack on playing FM and not sharing it at all. Or maybe I just need to bite the bullet, sell my soul and be able to buy some decent hardware. But until that point, I don't really know if it is going to work or not. So what better way to find out if it works or not than by literally trying it? So here we are. We're trying it now. This is me trying it. I'm putting a podcast out. We're going to go for a weekly podcast. In these podcasts, the Worst FM podcast, I'm going to do a few things. Firstly, I'm going to be playing a save, and the save that I'm starting with is Woking. Woking FC, I don't know why. They're in the low leagues. They are in the Vanarama South. They've just been relegated from the Vanarama National down to the South. I'd like to see what I can do with them, basically. I used to manage them back in the day, the early 2000s. I used to manage Woking on my saves, and I loved it. And I feel like going back to them is what I'm going to do. So firstly, these podcasts are going to be me literally playing the game, and obviously, I'll tell you what I'm doing as I'm playing the game, and I'll talk to you about my tactics and talk to you about training and talk to you about transfers and how things are going and stuff like that. And amidst all of that, we'll have some fun as well. Hopefully it'll be vaguely entertaining for you. Otherwise, you could spend your life doing, well, anything else, to be honest. Secondly, I'm going to try out doing live comms on podcast. That's right. We're going to play some of the matches from my save. In fact, every podcast is going to be one of my matches live on the podcast. I'm going to be live commentating on the match whilst chatting, whilst having a bit of a laugh, chatting with you, all this kind of stuff. That's the aim anyway. So firstly, playing the save, but secondly, we are doing a live comm every episode. Thirdly is interaction. The aim of this podcast is to create a bit of a community with you guys so that you can interact, so you can ask questions. One of the features I used to have in my videos was called the halftime show, and we'd just do something random in that halftime show, and it was a real mixture of things, such as my whipped cream impression. That was a big favourite, a big hit apparently. But anyway, we're going to reinstate the halftime show, but this time what I'm going to be doing is sharing comments and emails from you guys. So I'm going to want you to email in, tweet to me any thoughts you've got, any questions you've got, any answers you've got to my problems, and I'll talk about them on the podcast as well. That'll be at half time on each of the matches I'm playing, and that's about it. And we're going to see how it goes. So we're going to play a save. You're going to be able to listen to it. Obviously, you won't be able to see it. If you're watching on YouTube, you're able to see my face. But really, this is first and foremost an audio thing. Audio. That's right, listening. So I hope it works. If give me a shout, let me know what you think. I'm on Twitter at worstfmanager. You can tweet me on there. I'm on there every day. You can also email me at worstfootballmanagerever@gmail.com. And they're probably the best ways to get hold of me, I'd say. It'll be interesting to hear your thoughts, any questions you've got, any ideas you've got for me. Put them in a tweet, put them in an email, and you might feature in these episodes, okay? So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be joining you next time for kind of episode 1, really, proper, where we start in the save. We're going to be going into the first game of the season as Woking. So far, they have asked that I'm going to be like 7th place. That's what they want. They want me to kind of get into the playoffs just about. I think I can do that. I've said to the players we could do that. I've brought in a few people. We're sort of playing around with tactics, seeing how that's going to go. I'm loving Football Manager 2019. I hope you are, by the way. But we're going to see how it goes. These podcasts will be, I don't know, somewhere between 15 minutes and 30 minutes at the most. I don't want them to do them any longer than that. We're aiming for one a week. Obviously, at one point, I will come to a formal schedule and announce it and do all of that sort of stuff. But for now, it's kind of roughly a week. We'll see how we do. We see how it goes down. And what might happen is I might get some money and be able to buy a new PC and sort all that sort of stuff out and be able to record again, videos again. But until that time, it might be a bit tricky. So we're going for this. I might be able to do some screenshots. If you're interested in screenshots, you can just go on my Twitter, ask me for certain screenshots if you want to know details about certain players I'm mentioning, or squad views, or my tactics, things like that. I might post some up anyway, just so you can keep track and see something visual at least if you're interested. But hopefully, the dulcet tones of my voice will keep you entertained for your commute to work, or will keep you entertained for your dog walk whilst you're waiting for him to do a poo until you can go back indoors again. Or maybe it will keep you interested whilst you are supposed to be doing work but subtly listening whilst at work. I don't know, but who knows? This is the Worst FM podcast. I am the worst football manager ever. I'm really looking forward to this journey. I hope you are too. But until next time, which will be the first time, if you know what I mean, I'll see you later.